Yeah, I like 8:30 on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I like
Yeah.
to get up early.
That's why I
That's
see you all
right.
the
Yeah, I
time,
always
yeah.
see you there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My wife can never get up early. Ever. That's why we go to 3:30 service on Saturday. Typically is what we always shoot for. And if we end up skipping that, we end up going until 11:30 on Sunday. So.
Great example of discipline or whatever there. You know, I within the last 6 months decided I'm going to join the 5 a.m. club, and I'm going to be up and doing stuff at that time. And I traditionally have not considered myself a morning person. But when I set that schedule and I focused on what that would do for me to be up at that time, to be able to get my workout in at 6:15 or 7:30, and then be able to get back home and get my day started, when before I would still be, you know, waking up and getting coffee and be heading into the gym at 10 a.m. or something like that. You know, just how much more productive my day would be. Wake up, get my morning routine done
definitely.
early. It was really huge, and now that I've been doing it for a while, it's made a huge difference, and it's not a problem anymore. You know, when that alarm goes off, I'm ready to wake up. A lot of times I find that I'm awake 2 minutes before the alarm goes off, and I wake up and I'm like, what time is it? And I look at the clock and it's 4:58.
I got 30 minutes.
You know?
Yeah, I'll get up, whatever.
Well, discipline equals freedom, right?
Yeah. It's true.
That's what Jocko says. Well, he gets up at 4:30. His big thing is the 4:30. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like people always like push it a little bit farther. You know, it's like first it's 5, then it's 4:30, then it's 4, and yeah, like some of my mentors wake up at 3:30, 4 a.m. every morning. And
I should just go to bed earlier. That's
Yeah.
all that
Not me,
means.
because I still need sleep.
Mhm.
Sleep's overrated.
I think I get like 7 hours sleep now. Something about 7 hours.
I think that's good. Yeah, if I get between 6 and 7, I'm pretty good to go.
Yeah, if I get under 6, then I'm dragging.
I've learned to not lean on alertness in my life anymore.
Well, it's like when you think about, you know, your energy doesn't come from sleep either, though. You
No.
know, because I feel like we've all had those times where you sleep 10 hours and you wake up groggy and tired still.
Correct.
Yep.
You know, you know, I work on these events where we go 18, 20-hour days, you know, for 5 or 6 days in a row. And yeah, I mean, you find yourself dragging at times, but you've got to.
What kind of work do you do?
This is the volunteering for Tony Robbins.
Oh, okay. Right,
Uh-huh.
right.
And yeah, you know, we do those long days, but it's about knowing how to change your state that way, and how to change your physiology, how to change your focus, and you know, in a matter of moments, you can change what you're feeling. You can get, you know, put some music on, start moving your body a little bit, and all of a sudden the energy comes back. And we really have like a limitless supply of energy if we want to tap into it. You know, have you ever fasted for 2 or 3 days?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people think energy comes from food
No.
too, but everyone's eaten a huge meal and been like wanted to fall asleep right after. And a few of us have fasted for 2 or 3 days and know that you have more energy than you know what to do with a lot of times
Correct.
when you don't eat, because your body's not using
Yeah.
any energy to digest food. So you got all that just in reserve.
It's amazing what energy you can get out of fat from your body, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, energy's up here. Energy
Yeah.
comes from...
Trying to get that through to my
Comes
daughter
from your
right now.
mind.
She thinks she has to have 10 hours of sleep. I'm like, no, you don't.
yeah.
But that's what the book said. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Yeah. There's
just-
always new science every year.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah. Science can't agree with
She's still a young mind.
I feel like this is one of the most confusing things about the time that we live in now, is that everything's available on the internet, and no matter what point of view you want to see, you can find something that'll support it.
Yeah.
So any issue, especially, you know, polarizing issues that have one side or another, you can find an argument for both of them
Easily.
all the time.
Yeah, easily.
Well,
So
usually
that
there
can
are
be
two
confusing.
sides, and I think that's, you know, but I think there's that whole over reliance on data, you know, instead of conviction, instead of like having kind of like, yeah, look, I know the word of God, for us anyway, you know, like I know the word and I think I know what's right, and I'm not going to just start looking for data on to prove that it's right or not. I'm going to live by faith. And I feel like I feel like that's a thing, and even people who aren't Christians or religious talk about that. Just the fact that we over rely on data, and psychologists do that, and a lot of psychologists have the crappiest lives. Like they know the data, but it's like they're so messed up. I constantly hear about people who are like, oh yeah, they're a psychologist, and they've been divorced like 8 times, and things like that. You're just like, wow, okay, or a therapist. And
Yeah, they've been divorced like 6
wow,
times.
okay.
Like,
Hopefully, do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing.
so when do you want to make your next appointment? I'll get back to you on that appointment thing.
Yeah.
I need, I got something coming up this next 5 years for the rest of my life, and I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Apparently, either that or just the science they're getting, just the constantly new studies they're reading is so confusing to them that they can't, they're just never going to be really right, even though the data might be right, because they just can't make sense of conflicting data, and they can't figure out why it's conflicting. They can't abstract it enough to say it's conflicting, it's all right, but the meta truth is this thing, right? That makes it all make sense. But if you're so science, that's the difference between philosophy of science and science, right? A lot of scientists believe in evolution. A lot of them are very poor philosophers of science. They don't know, like this atheism, they don't know. Science can't really tell you that. They can tell you some really helpful stuff. It just can't tell you the conclusion. Correlation is not causation.
Right.
And it's just like, you have to understand that, Anyway, but should we connect? Debrief?
Sure.
Cool. Cal, thank you so
All right.
much.